Imagine holding a freezing iron bar in the dead of winter. The cold is so absolute that your skin literally fuses to the metal. Pulling away means tearing yourself apart, so you just keep holding on. Resentment is exactly like that. You think holding on to it is protecting you. You think it is keeping you warm, but it's actually freezing you to death from the inside out. We all have that one person, the friend who betrayed us when we needed them most, the parent who failed to love us correctly, the partner who walked out the door and never looked back. You replay the argument in the shower. You win every fake debate in your head, but in the end, you just lose your peace of mind. Now look at Scandinavia, consistently ranked the happiest places on earth. They do not hold the iron bar. They have a bizarre psychological rule that makes resentment literally impossible to form. Let me explain. We are always told to just forgive and forget. How many times have you heard that generic advice? Be the bigger person. Just let it go. Write a letter to the person who hurt you and burn it. Go to therapy and talk it out for years. But what actually happens? You talk about the betrayal so much that it becomes your identity. You meticulously map out the trauma. You build a massive permanent shrine to your own pain. Western psychology is completely obsessed with closure. We demand an apology. We need the other person to fully understand how much they destroyed us. But this is a lethal trap. Waiting for closure is giving your kidnapper the only key to your chains. The Nordics realized this trap centuries ago. They simply stopped waiting for closure. Resentment requires a very specific ingredient to survive. It requires ego. It requires the absolute belief that you are the main character of the universe, and that the world has somehow violated your personal script. Enter the Nordic concept of janteloven, the law of Jante. Most people completely misunderstand this concept. They think it means suppressing your individuality and being a follower, but psychologically, it functions as an impenetrable ego shield. If you are not special, your pain is not a cosmic injustice. It is just weather. You do not resent the rain for making you wet. You do not resent the winter for being cold, because you do not take the weather personally. The Nordic rule shifts toxic human behavior into the category of weather. People are deeply flawed, selfish, and chaotic. Expecting them to be perfect is the actual root of your misery. In Denmark, there is a word with no direct English translation. Pite. It sounds like a tiny spit. Pite. But it means something profoundly deep. It translates loosely to, oh well, it does not matter. But it is not a passive surrender. It is an active, aggressive psychological reset. When a bus drives through a puddle and ruins your new coat. When a coworker steals the credit for your project. Pite. It is a strict boundary you draw around your own emotional bandwidth. You are actively deciding the event is not worth the calories of your anger. Neuroscientists call this rapid cognitive reframing. The Danish just call it a button. They literally sell physical pite buttons in Danish supermarkets. You press it, you breathe, and you immediately move on. It disrupts the neural loop before the resentment can even begin to crystallize. The second mechanism is a little darker. It requires looking directly at the person who deeply hurt you and systematically stripping away all of their power. When we resent someone, we secretly view them as a god. We think they had total mastermind control over their actions. We think they specifically chose to destroy us. The Nordic psychological model completely strips them of this agency. It views people as helpless victims of their own broken programming. Your father did not abandon you because you were unlovable. He abandoned you because he was a terrified coward running from himself. He was just weather. You have spent years holding a grudge against a hurricane. Realizing this is the ultimate emotional liberation. You stop demanding fresh water from a completely dry well. You see the person not as an evil villain, but as a deeply sad tragedy. Pity replaces anger, and you cannot resent what you pity. But there is a very dangerous trap hidden in this philosophy, and I have fallen into it myself. You can easily use this rule to tolerate severe abuse. You can say pite while your house burns down around you. You can view a toxic partner as weather and just stay in the storm forever. Apathy is the dark, silent shadow of this philosophy. If nothing matters, why bother protecting your own boundaries? The distinction here is absolutely crucial. The Nordic rule does not mean you are forced to stay out in the rain. It simply means you stop yelling at the clouds. You still open a massive umbrella. You still walk inside to a worn fire. You absolutely still cut toxic people out of your life, but you do it silently, without the exhausting, endless internal monologue. You remove the person physically, but you refuse to carry their ghost. I used to carry so many ghosts. I had a meticulously organized mental list of everyone who ever wronged me. It was a heavy, suffocating backpack of emotional debts. I actually thought my anger was my armor. I thought it kept me safe from getting hurt again. But it was just that freezing iron bar from the beginning, tearing away my own skin, day after day. We only get a few decades on this spinning rock. That is all we get. Spending your limited heartbeats obsessing over someone else's brokenness is a tragedy. Let them be broken. Let them be wrong about you. Drop the iron bar. Look at the total disaster they caused in your life. Take a deep breath and say pite, and step into the absolute warmth of your own beautiful life. You are finally free.